I know Throwback Thursday used to be a thing, but now we're doing Throwback all the year here at SwissWatchExpo. Cartier has relaunched the Must tank, which was hugely popular in the early 1980s, late 70s, and they've really brought it back with a big splash, and we're going to go over it next. Cartier is really enjoying its position right now as, according to some independent sources, the third biggest output of any Swiss watch company, right behind Rolex and Omega. So they're really at the top of their game. They're having a lot of fun with their catalog. They've relaunched some of their classic styles with the Santos de Cartier, with the Panther, but they really had sort of ignored the classic Must tank line for a long time up until right now. And it really wouldn't be too big of a stretch to say this is the watch that sort of put Cartier where it is. Before the Must watch came out, Cartier was three separate companies: Cartier London, Cartier Paris, and Cartier New York. They were still owned by the family that had owned it for generations. And they really had sort of trickled down to a very small business model. Some people say they were only selling 3,000 watches a year at the time. And then came in two young firebrands, Alan Hawk and Dominique Perrin, and they really changed the company. They came up with this idea that every person must own a piece of Cartier. And so they came out with lighters and pens and perfumes and handbags and wallets and all sorts of luxury accessories. And if you think about it, this is kind of the area that companies like LVMH have based their entire business model on. Really was invented by Cartier in the 70s. And as they had success and they sold more and more items and the cash flow got better, they were able to consolidate those three companies into one and really launch Cartier into becoming the global brand that it is now. And it really kind of comes down to this watch. Before, they had only made watches in 18 karat gold or platinum. Everything was a super high luxury, much higher level than other luxury houses, where a day of shopping at Cartier was a day of mystery and discovery and excitement. But the shopper from the 1940s was not the same thing as the shopper from the 70s. So they needed a way to revitalize and sort of add new energy to the brand. And what they came up with was a watch that they had never produced before. It was a sterling silver watch with heavy gold plating. They called it Vermeil. And no one had ever made such a thing before. And they came out with all these really creative dial colors, and they were extremely simplistic, very minimalistic. I mean, think of like the way Andy Warhol wore his tank watch. And that's the kind of mindset you've got. It was like French chic, the idea of the dandy sitting at the sidewalk cafe, dressed to the nines, and really being an influencer, if you use the modern name for it. But these watches, by modern standards, they're a little bit small, but they are definitely in keeping with the size of what the original tank watches were, the Must tank watches. They only said Must de Cartier on the dial, and they had a Cartier double C, and that was it. These have really come into that same spirit. These were launched at Watches and Wonders 2021, and these are unworn examples we have here at SwissWatchExpo. We've got the blue one and the green one, and these dials are lacquered, so they have a really deep luster to them. The color of the dial itself is just gorgeous, and the only thing written on it is Cartier, and then at the bottom, very small, Swiss made. And the idea of this watch really is that it is the same shape as the original Louis Cartier tank. It's the same shape as the Tank Classic and the original Must tank. They've done away with the flat sides that the Tank Solo had. And so these are sort of, the Tank Solo has been retired. These are the ones that have taken its place, the Must de Cartier. And they've introduced a new series of movements with them. They call them a high autonomy quartz movement. Now what that means is that it can go about 8 years without a battery change. So that'll be interesting to see how that works out. But the design cues are all exactly there. They're the sword-shaped hands that you expect from Cartier, the grained dial with the blue spinel cabochon that is one of the Cartier signatures. But I just can't get over this rounded case and how great it looks in stainless steel. Gone are the silver cases, the vermeil cases. The engraving on the back, you'll notice a noticeable update is that they now say water resistant, which the old vermeil Mustangs never were. They were a little prone to water damage, but these are at least splash proof. They're water resistant to about 3 bar. And they've used almost all the Cartier watches now seem to have some sort of a quick strap change feature. This one has a little bar right here that you just put your thumbnail behind and you can take the strap off. Super easy to put another one on, change the colors. Maybe with the colored dials, it might be a little bit more limiting which colors you could use with it, but you certainly could put black or white or some other color, different shades of green on this one. The blue one is just really beautiful as well. Same features as the green one. The size on these is 26 by 34. So it's only 1 millimeter difference from the outgoing Tank Solo, but really a classic size. When you see it on the wrist, this really could go great for men or women. There's an extra large size as well that has an in-house manufacturer automatic movement in it, but these are powered by this high autonomy quartz movement, and then there's a small model as well. So check it out on our website. Look at the new Must de Cartier. Tell us what you think about it. Give us a like and click the bell. Get notifications. Subscribe to our channel so you'll get notifications every week when we post new content.